Welcome to Game Nights with JR. I'm JR, and this is our August Feature Games preview video, where I run through all of the games that are going to be set up and ready to play when you come to our Game Night with JR events in August. It's August in Texas, which means it is extra hot this year, even though we had a relatively mild summer up until very recently. Now it's officially hot, and so since we are in the dog days of summer, I thought it would be fun to feature some pet themed games. These are all games that are at least loosely pet themed that I thought would help us while away the hot hours, hopefully inside at some of our fantastic and very air conditioned venues. So without any further ado, let's dive into the pet themed games for these dog days of summer this August. First up is Good Dog, Bad Zombie. This is a hilarious and very fun game set in the zombie apocalypse. And the story is this: the zombie apocalypse has gotten very out of hand, and the dogs have pretty much ignored it because, for whatever reason, zombies don't mess with dogs. The problem is, though, now that there are very few humans left, there's no one to give the dogs scritches and call them good boy. And the dogs are really sad about that. So they are leaving their new life in Central Bark and exploring the zombie-infested city to try to find some humans who are still alive, guide them back to the park so that they can protect the humans, and of course the humans can give them scritches and call them good boys. So you play as a dog. Each dog has a special power, and you're trying to go find the humans. You don't have to worry too much about the zombies until you're escorting a human back, at which point you're going to have to be really strategic about how to get them there. This game is super easy to play, and it's really fun because you get to play as a dog. Bonus, there are actually ways to incorporate your own pooch. So if you do own a dog and you want to play as that dog, let me know. Send me a message or leave me a comment here, and we can work out a way for me to whip up a game token for you so that you can play as your very own doggo when you come to play Good Dog, Bad Zombie. Next up is one of my perennial favorites, Cat in the Box. Yes, it is a riff on the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment, which was designed to illustrate quantum improbability, the fact that particles, for instance, can exist as waves or particles until we observe them. And then once we observe them, we lock them into some kind of a real state. Until then, they exist as probabilities. And so Cat in the Box is a riff on spades. It's a trick-taking card game. And your cards don't have a suit. They're no color until you play them, and at which point you lock them into a quantum reality. So they become either red, blue, green, or yellow. I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but the game includes a really clever tracking mechanism, so it's really easy to keep track of this. Because of the way the game plays, it's possible that you can end up at the end of a round without a legal play, and that causes a paradox, which means you short circuit reality, destroy the universe as we know it, and also you have to end the round without scoring any points. Major bummer. Anyway, you don't actually have to know anything about quantum physics to enjoy this game. It does help if you've played spades, but even if you haven't, it's pretty easy to pick up. This was a feature game early on in Game Nights at JR, and so I know a few of you have played it, but I know a lot of you have not, and it's one of my all-time favorite games. So I thought, since this is Pets Month, it would be a really good excuse to bring Cat in the Box back out. And hey, maybe we'll do a tournament with it this month. Next up is another cat-themed game. I actually don't have my own copy in yet. It's en route as we speak. But it's called Space Cats Fight Fascism. It's a really fun game, another very simple game where you are working as cats to fight the fascist empire that's trying to take over the galaxy. So yeah, you heard this right. This is basically Star Wars plus cats, which again is a winning combination, right? How come there aren't actually more cats in Star Wars? Anyway, yeah, it's a very simple game. It's a lot of hand management and dice rolling and fighting fascism. So it's a fun game. You also kind of learn a little bit what it looks like to be part of the resistance as you go. And yeah, who doesn't want to fight fascism these days, right? So Space Cats Fight Fascism. It's fun. It's cats. It's space. It's actually, now that I think about it, a nice bridge between the July games and the August games. How about that? That wasn't even planned. That's just bonus. Bonus anti-fascist propaganda there. Next up is a game called Wondrous Creatures. This is easily the most complex game I'm bringing to Game Nights with JR, but it's still a relatively light game. It's, I think, much lighter than, say, for instance, Arcs that was here in July, and it's a worker placement game. What's fun about this game is the components. So each person gets 3 of these little critters. There's actually 2 different kinds of each color, so you can kind of choose the critters that you want. And one of them, I don't know if you can see this here, it has a magnet on the top of it because each player also gets a little captain. So this is a little barbarian guy I really like for obvious reasons. Or you've got this little cute little like purple princess chick right here. And they also have a magnet, I guess, in their butt, and it's very satisfying because you can click them in and they actually ride on your little animal here. And so obviously, like, your captain is one of your 3 animals that has the most ability. You get a little extra ability when you do them, but then you have your other 2 as well. So again, a really good worker placement game. There's very light person versus person interaction, but it's one of those games where the components are so fantastic. It just makes it a pretty good game into a really, really fun game to play. You might also recognize this one from some of my website photos because it's got such a good table presence. I had to feature it when I was doing my photo shoot. So yeah, this is Wondrous Creatures. It's going to be there in August. And I guess if you've always wanted a unicorn as a pet or maybe a little sea dragon, this is a good one for you to play. Last but certainly not least is Wingspan. Wingspan is another of the new classic games. This game has sold like a bajillion copies. It's got 2 different spin-offs and I think already 4 different expansions at this point. And it's great. It's an engine builder and it's about bird watching. So the mechanics of this game are actually super simple. They make for a really elegant and quick play. It's also one of those that by the time you finish playing it the first time, you want to play it again because you're really starting to grasp some of the deeper strategy. But the real draw of this game is the absolutely beautiful art. The base game features all birds from North America, and then each of the expansions goes to a different continent. So there's like an Oceania expansion, there's a European expansion, and there's an Asia expansion so far. South America expansion is on its way, and then I'm guessing they're not going to do an Antarctica expansion because that's just like 4 penguins or whatever. But nothing against penguins. I hope that those are at least in the South America expansion. So anyway, the art is gorgeous. It's really fun to look at the different birds. And then the strategy is actually surprisingly deep because of the different ways you have to build engines here. So if you've never played Wingspan, you really owe it to yourself because it's, again, one of the new classics and it's a lot of fun. And if you have played it, then you'll have a leg up on the competition, at least in the first round. There you have it. Those are the 5 feature games that are going to be featured in our Dog Days of Summer game night events in August. I look forward to playing with you. And of course, don't forget that in August, we have our next barbecue and board games event for our patrons. And patrons, you can also vote on the Player's Choice game that will be featured alongside all of these at our August game nights as well. If you are not already a patron, now is a great time to join, especially because in August is also when the 48 hours of board game tickets go on sale. That event is not until November, but we're putting tickets on sale, and obviously patrons get first shot at those tickets as well. So thank you all for watching and supporting. I cannot wait to game with you. I'll see you at our game nights in August.